What's going on, movie lovers? Welcome to the Brazen Black podcast, the home of the fearless African and unapologetic storytelling. I'm your host with the most, Tebatso Mashishi, the black boy with the white skin, and we are here at the Heatskrs film showcase at the artistry in Sandton. So on today's episode, we are joined by the lovely NTHABELEng PHORA from the GFC. NTHABELEng, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing? I narrating. So just please briefly just introduce yourself to the BBAFF'ies at home and just tell us what you do at the GFC.
Oh, at the GFC, I am the industry support and development manager.
Oh, okay.
Responsible for supporting the core business of the industry, being it that financial and non-financial support. As part of the programs that we have supported is Bay Foundation that is currently today presenting and showcasing Heatskrs Audience Development Initiative, where in this program in particular, we are here to promote and support local content appreciation. It's important that we appreciate our own stories, critique our own stories, laugh and cry at our own stories, and celebrate our own stories, because we are seeing the industry being affected by many issues, including financial support and financial strain in terms of the funding agencies. So as a responsibility of the GFC, we are here as an agency to ensure that in as much as there's all this crisis that is happening in the industry, we keep calm, we keep the industry working, we keep supporting the industry with the finances that we have, so that we don't really get to a point where we are all standstill.
Oh, sure. Thank you very much for that, NTHABELEng. And speaking about local content and just the state of the industry, and how is GFC, stepping in to be able to help their creators?
Look, we cannot all put the industry at a standstill.
Sure.
The issues around what is happening in the industry is something that the GFC supports the industry in requesting what is rightfully theirs, or what should be rightfully theirs, as we all know that the industry has not been regulated, particularly in labor. The issues of high tax, the issues of unstable royalties, and all of those issues, they have always been there. But as the Gauteng Film Commission, we continue to provide funding. We have not closed shop. We are promoting our programs. We are implementing programs. We are providing funding, obviously, when projects are approved, and the call for submissions opens twice a year. So we really have not stopped, and we have not closed office. We have not paused. We are continuing to work. And the reason why we also feel that is very important for us is to be that sister that takes care of the industry once things are falling apart, and providing the hope, providing strategic direction for people to continue to grow, providing the financial support for whilst bigger monies as they have still not been paid, they can still get the grants from the GFC to continue the work as part of their cash flow as they are waiting for funds from other organizations.
And speaking about hope, programs like one that we are here today is a testament of that. So how did that collaboration come about between GFC and the Heatskrs?
The Heatskrs, they applied at the Gauteng Film Commission. They were approved with the funds which allowed them to create the event that they are creating today. Yes. So it's not the only one. We all have all other audience development initiatives that are being screened in all over Gauteng. So this is one of them.
Oh, beautiful. And just for the creatives at home, right? What are other funding bodies, other than the NAVF and the GFC, that the creatives at home can be able to approach?
It's very tricky because it's also not fair that I talk about other organizations where I cannot commit. Okay. However, we do have the National Arts Council.
Okay.
We do have BASA. We do have the National Film Video Foundation. We have the GFC. We have the KZN Film Commission. We have the National Empowerment Fund. We have CEDA for the small.
It's quite a lot,
no? Small businesses. We also have CIDFA. We have the SMME development. These are government institutions. We have the IDC, we have the DTIC. Yes, we do have reports that the DTIC will look into the restructuring of the funds. We have your 3-year NEC funding programs. So there are a lot of funding programs that are out there. The question maybe that could be arguable, it's around the compliance. They need a lot of things, and they're all different in their objective and rather the themes.
Sure.
So obviously, sometimes you find that the limitations become the theme of the film that you are making does not align with the theme that is required for the particular funding. However, funding is there. Institutions of higher learning also, they have found a way not to only support programs that are for learners within that particular institution, but now even the universities and institutions of higher learning have opened doors for people that are in the industry and still require some form of upskilling. Those are some of the new partnerships that the GFC is merging and partnering with, because we have realized that we also have a lot of self-taught filmmakers, and the lack of skills by virtue of their inability to attend school because of the inability to afford fees is a reality, and it's something that we cannot ignore. As a result, we have then given ourselves an opportunity to partner with VUT, UJ, VETS, SAE, as well as, there's a fifth one that I'm forgetting, NEMISA. Yes. NEMISA. So what we've looked into is to then also providing masterclasses through the institutions of higher learning, where even the current filmmakers that are on the ground will obviously be able to be afforded an opportunity to attend some of the masterclasses or the short programs that the GFC is partnered with the university, so that they equally get an equipped skill for them to better produce their work and also produce quality work that is competitive, but is also industry reliant.
Yeah, I was interviewing you. You spoke a mouthful, and I'm sure that the creatives at home, like the organizations that like baka apply. All right. So speaking about partnering with the institutions of higher learning, right, with the students, from there, how is the GFC making sure that that the students or whoever that the young imaging filmmakers are seen?
It's a collective responsibility, from all agencies. However, I know that from the Film Commission as well as the NAVF, we do have funding for startups. We do have funding for newcomers in the industry.
Okay.
We do have intents that we would usually give new entries into the industry, where we'll then place them into big production companies that are doing the work for them to at least get experience.
Interesting.
We also really try to push, and that one is on me. I always try to push that filmmakers, when they come straight from school or they are still young, they should sometimes try to avoid creating their own films. One, because of they are a high risk. Two, nobody trusts them with money. Three, it takes time for them to get the funds, particularly if they don't have the experience. Right? So it's better, and I always say that it's better work for a production company and enough experience for you to also know, because the reality is that what you taught at school and what is the real situation on set are two different conversations. So the schooling gives you the necessary knowledge. The work gives you the actual experience of the work that you have learned. So it's always important that you learn and make mistakes whilst you are still young. Whilst you are working for someone who's always will be able to tell you and teach you to say, Tebatso, this was wrong, this is what you need to do best. Because of sometimes when you go on your own, straight from school, you don't know your mistakes because you think you are right. And you'll always think, and by virtue of you thinking sometimes you are right, that's when you are losing it, because of then that's when even your next project might never be successful. Secondly, it's also encouraging newcomers to produce short films.
Okay.
Short films, because of short films is that space where you make all the mistakes. You manage in your budgets, you know what you went wrong, you know how to care better for your workers between the cast and the crew. You know how to also learn how to manage the budgets. Because, Tebatso, to tell you the honest truth, nobody will trust you with 100,000 if you've never held 10,000 in your hand and manage it effectively. So why must somebody trust you with 100,000 if you can't manage 10?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's those little things that we sometimes take for granted. To say nobody will just come and give you money if they have not seen anything that you have done before. And that internship of getting that 12 months internship in working in different productions helps a lot, because of then you're able to engage in different kind of stories. You get to engage with different kinds of people, with their moods, with their expectations, with all sorts of behaviors that they have, because then that also helps you with people's management skills. So those are something that people management skills, said, is not taught in university. It's things that you find today I don't want to talk, tomorrow I want to talk to you. It's things that sometimes are so soft that you take for granted, and it's things that are there, right? It's the weather, it's the, it's all these other things that I think one needs experience. And I think for newcomers, short films are the way to go. You make all your mistakes, because I want to always believe that your first film that you have created will never be the same as your third film. But you learn as you go. You'll never just get to the top, Yeah. Yes, it can happen. There'll always be that one out of 20 maybe that could experience that, but it's not all of us.
Yeah, indeed, as NTHABELENG, because when a lot of students go university, right? They don't know where to go. I was one of them as well, where like the university didn't tell us like, just like, you have the skill, go figure it out by yourself. It's not like, oh, there's this, that. We gave you the skill, go figure it out by yourself. And that's where some of us are not lost, And I'm glad that that the creatives at home are able to will be able to tune in and to take some of the nuggets, right? Just okay.
Okay, I think it's the inability to always want to all share the same thing. Everybody wants to share like a feature film or a comedy story but no one is looking outside of fiction and nonfiction and documentaries. No one is looking at alternative productions. No one is looking at location tourism films. No one is looking at fashion films. No one is looking at wildlife. And that's where the real money is. No one is looking at wildlife. No one is looking at kids' content. No one is producing for kids. And we come back, we want the kids to appreciate our local content when we did not develop them when they were 4 and teach them a short film in Tswana so that they understand their home language, so that by the time they transform the language in the school, they have the base of understanding their home language. We don't have kids' content, right? We don't have cultural content. So we don't even have content that preserve language. We don't have the history of our own languages. And that is being a filmmaker that does not want to be famous. But that's being a filmmaker who's preserving content, who can sell their content in universities. Because of universities need to have the history of South Africa, in South Africa, right? Nobody's creating that content. Because we all want to be famous, we all want to be on the red carpet, we all want to be seen and be known and be the next best director and be the next wow director. But no one is talking about documentary filmmaking for education. No one is talking about animation for education. No one is talking about coding for mining, coding for the health department, coding for gaming. So we are all in this one thing that I suppose sometimes the school teaches us, but it's not showing us how to open our lenses. The Weather Channel has so much funding, guys. National Geographic, Al Jazeera, the Weather Channel, the History Channel, the 50-50. They have lots and lots and lots of money because of nobody's also taking documentaries on wildlife. Nobody's taking documentaries of sea life. Nobody's taking documentaries of animals. Nobody's taking content on climate change. And the issues right now are around climate change, but nobody's talking about climate change. It's cold outside. Nobody knows why. Because of it is climate change. But so we have a lot of films that are not being told. We have a lot of science fictions that is not told from even a university perspective on how we come up with remedies of solutions into the medical fraternity or into the science. Nobody's talking about that. But you know? So I'm just saying, I'm just highlighting the things that are not happening. But everybody is doing short films, everybody's romance, everybody's doing some guy with a gun and in some shack somewhere dying of AIDS.
But
like it's what's happening. And I'm saying to you, other alternatives where there is more money and there is more work that could be done without everybody wanting to be on the same spaces and where the piece of the pie is smaller. And I think that's where some of the things are not taught. The exploration of other things that you can do in terms of filmmaking that is limiting people, even when they think. It's very rare that I've come up someone saying, no, now I am just doing filmmaking in wildlife. I have not, you know, but I'm just highlighting those things because I find myself in those spaces. And the people that are there are even very, very, very small bits of people that are doing that kind of content. And it frustrates me because of now the reason why we also have a lot of declines, even from the funding agencies, is you're not this niche that everybody's fighting for without exploring other niches because of then all of you want to tell a story about your mother. I mean, you can't all five of you tell a story about it. It's impossible. All right? Even when you pitch, guys, everybody, I sit in a lot of pitches, people tell the similar story all the time. No one is coming with something that is just, that will blow us our mind and we're like, nobody's talking about apartheid for crying out loud in such a way that it could be understood by a child because of we talk about, even the schools are not talking about our own history. But as content creators, are we talking about our own history? We are not. So why do we want to get somebody to do it? Why can't we be the ones that do it? And then somebody will follow us, right? So it's just a whole lot of, like I could go on with these discussions until the rain comes.
Yeah, no, I was telling you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yo, like, this is a whole masterclass.
At which point did you say cut? Repeat it.
No, that's off it. No, that's off it. We're still rolling.
And it's not because of it's the child's choice. It is because the content that is on television is in English. But if there were like 10 local films, there is no way a broadcaster can say no. Because of it's something that is a need, which they do not have. So you're already playing in the space where everybody is. And everybody thinks that they're making a film for 16-year-olds. Kantuena, when you were 12, what were you watching? See, so nobody's making films for like from 0 until a 14-year-old. 14-year-olds they find themselves having to watch whatever that is on Mzansi at 8 o'clock because of that is all that is there. There's nothing else, and we don't. And then things are PG all, but even that PG all sometimes is very harmful, But no one is creating the very one. They will laugh, they will learn something, they will gain something, they will understand language. We have a crisis right now. They are saying that 10-year-olds don't read to understand because they don't understand, and there's no way that you can understand English before you understand your home language. Because we fetula jwang ka sekgowa o soka o itseba ka Sotho. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking. We hlalosa jwang ka sekgowa o sa itsebe ka Sesotho. It's those things that we also don't look into deeply as filmmakers because of the one thing that I'm saying, that everybody wants to be known. And sometimes the work that is not known, that will talk for itself, it's also putting bread on the table equally. Because for me, film should be a business. Film should be something that at the end of the day, we must find you at a point where we funded you, even as the Gauteng Film Commission, as the NTHABELEng, whatever, to a point that where you can be self-sustainable. You'll be able to then be independent. You'll be able to then hire more people. You'll be able to produce more. You'll be able to make money. But the reason why we are also not moving is because we tell the same stories, we are not all approved. We then come back next year with the same project, hoping that this year will be your year. But you wasted another year because of the very same thing of ganging up on telling these stories that are all the same. Right? So you become emerging for, then you become emerging for 15 years. You've been emerging.
Sure.
Yeah, but you're emerging in the very same genre. Because it's the genre that makes you grow. So you're emerging in the same genre of this thing that is, yeah. I am, and I will tell you why. I am passionate about kids, and I think I did go into it, that I am passionate about kids because for kids to appreciate South African content, we must create it there. That's what audience development really means. It means me, in my 40 plus now, right? I was developed as a Chinese audience child because of at our times there was no TV, there was no Bascope. Bascope was Chicky Chen, somewhere some karate movie there in the hall with black plastics. I can watch Chinese film today because of I was developed without understanding the language. Just watching and you will know who's going to be the starring and who's going to beat everybody up. Right? So even today, you can put in, I am the audience that was developed at the time. I was audience at developed Kabo Madlanduna. I was the audience that was developed Kabo Lisilo. I was that audience. To understand the African language, it happened there. So by the time all these things are happening now, in language, it happened there. In the first vendor, Soapy. A lot of people understood vendor in South Africa, even though it was a language that we never really focused on, particularly on broadcast. But when Muvhango was there, Zulus were following Muvhango. Tswanas were following. Why? Because people want to enjoy South African content in South African content language. It's very funny. You find a Zulu person listening to King Tolia Teflop. Exactly. Because people are tired also of seeing black people talking English. Because we don't talk English all the time at home. So people want a reflection of themselves. That's why there's a channel that is making well, because of people are speaking naturally. People are seeing themselves in that mess. And people are reflecting and they can engage because of some of the things that are happening to us as you see them, right? And that's why the channel just grew like highly, because of people were seeing themselves. They were, no one was talking a language that is foreign with subtitles. Things were said as raw as they are in the spaces which we stay in, right? But also everybody, there was a group, an energy at some point where everybody was telling a story where it's a black person and a gun and AIDS in a shack and boho somewhere. And somebody told me, said from England, to say, the one thing about South Africa, South Africans tell good, bad stories. You are so good at telling a bad story. If you cover xenophobia, all our media, the thing will fly. But should there be a good person that has funded and fed 100 kids for 5 years, 3 meals a day, 5 years consecutively, nobody talks about the story because it's a good story. So we tell bad stories very well. And that for me, it was tainting me. I'm like, there's a lot of things that people do. It's like, yes, I agree with you, but you don't tell them. You tell the bad stories better. And that's what also is seen to be South Africa. You tell stories of crime in your own country. When people must come as tourists, but you sell a story of crime. You sell a story of AIDS. Yes, everybody has AIDS. So what? You don't see other countries talking about their real problems because they still want you to come as a tourist. They still want to sell this destination that is wow. They still want to sell a destination that is escapism to what you have. There's this documentary that the title was Crime in Johannesburg. It was created by some guy. So all I'm saying is that we need to just look at a way on maybe sometimes just avoiding to be in this spotlight. Look at other alternatives, look at other industries, look at other spaces where, in as much as, yes, I agree, people want to always be in the limelight. Whilst you're waiting for monies in the limelight, do other things that will be consistent in terms of growing the company, growing yourself, and growing that. So go into this niche markets where people are not there. And then you will still do your dream projects, which is this petty one or the one that you really like. But there must be something that must push you. And it's those other, like tourism, filming, taking all the locations in Gauteng, showing how great they are, going to restaurants, curating food in terms of, and then you promote that to say, if you come to Joburg or you come to Tshwane, this is spaces where you must eat this. This is also like tourism thing. You are also even funded by Gauteng Tourism, by Gauteng Agency, because if you're promoting the tourism through motion picture, right? You can go to all these fancy brands, right? It's fashion film. That's what they are called. It's fashion film. Kasi culture of the Kasi brands. You can promote those. because of people are now doing very well also in fashion. Those are fashion films, you know. So let's just not look at landscaping, just the view of locations. It's a lot of money because of you create a social media platform just on locations, and you put their address there. And if somebody wants to go to these locations, they can call you. You become a side hustle of a location scout. So there's like a whole lot of other things that I can talk about until we die, because we are all red carpet because of you'll be so comfortable in these other things that you're doing because of also so that you will not be fighting for the piece of the pie, because of then you can have the entire pie on your own, right? And really, it's how do we find ourselves? It's also in the reality of money is lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser. How do we also go out there and do other things? Because of now, even the GFC money will not grow more because of there's a crisis. Even the DTI money will not grow more because there's a crisis. Even the NAVF, even everybody. But there's all these other companies that are there that are because of also when you think about it, guys, I don't want to mother you about this thing, but from channel 1 to channel 405, individually in those companies, in those channels, how do you find yourself in the, because of, we can't all want to be Komzansi. We can't all want to be Mnet. What happens to all these other channels? Because of, there's disaster productions, where the biggest disaster in Gauteng that swept 50 people could be a documentary on climate to say we never had such a thing. But because of the climate change, KwaZulu-Natal has been flooding. This is a documentary. That's a documentary that will be sold everywhere. Al Jazeera, they want African content because of Al Jazeera is from a middle-class country. They want escapism themselves. Little about escapism, the Hollywood films to escape our problems. The rich first world, they want to escape their rich life and watch poor people. I want to say poor, but watch us there crumbling, and that's what excites them because of they don't know what being on the other side feels like. Liruna, we like the Fast and the Furious and the bands because we don't know that life. You want to escape into, and that's what broadcast should be like, right? There should be something that makes you look forward to go watching this thing, and you must create those things. There must be that excitement of saying, I'm gonna go and study nature life or sea life. Who is taking content in the ocean? Why? Surrounding the ocean, guys, we've got the Atlantic and the Pacific. In one country, they are both like this. But nobody from Mpumalanga all the way to Kimberley, we are surrounded by the ocean. Why are we not doing something about that? Why?
NTHABELEng. Yeah, I mean, masterclass. Yeah.
I can put that is next time.
No,
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the masterclass. I'm going to I've just been quiet, just listening. I feel like I'm in school all over again, and I've taken so much. Thank you very much, NTHABELEng, for your time, and we really, really, really appreciate you taking your time to speak to us. Thank you very much. Continue doing great work. We do need that. And for the BBAFF'ies at home, please, I hope you guys took a lot of nuggets. And
also, maybe I must also apologize for those that I may have offended in the companies which they believed in. I'm very sorry. I was just sharing an experience. I was just sharing what is there in the state of the industry.
Yes.
And the opportunities that are there that we never talk about.
Yes.
But also I am a very straight talker. Where opportunities are, I will share. Where something is closed, I will still share, because it is frustrating me when I see a lot of people do the same thing for like 3 years and they're not moving. And we've also seen a lot of people that get depressed in the industry because of the very thing of not trying to explore other things.
As well.
And they get frustrated by the very content they are so purely passionate about, but it's not leading to any good results. So it's really also an emotion of the frustration that one sees, and no growth of people. You know, as a person, you must grow. You must not be the same Tebatso that you were when you were 15 and 25 and 35. It cannot.
But we are going to grow from everything that you've told us. We are going to grow. Thank you very much, NTHABELENG.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's it from us, BBAFF'ies at home. Thank you very much, and salute, BBAFF'ies.
Bye-bye.